Hello everybody, and welcome to Tactical Imperative. Today we are going to continue our campaign of the astonishing, magnificent and invincible Babylonian Empire, which capital contains now 70 population. First of all, let's take a look on our serious problem. Plus 33 chaos per turn, plus 33, due to the fact that we produce too much goods with nuclear bases. Let's take a look. Only in capital is 6. So we need to build more cooling reactors to reduce that opportunities. But additional to that, I want to mention that probably it's going to be our chance, because we can pay for the chaos events easily. We have 600 per turn, so it's not a problem at all. But maybe our civilization cannot do it, and maybe it will be revolt in one of a city. It's going to be a free city and revolutionary nation, and we can obtain a lot of culture from a revolutionary nation. So from a first point of view it can be disadvantage, but maybe in a second point of view it could be an advantage for us. Alright, let's solve the easiest question. Let's pick up the first technology, and we are to shadow adapt. I would strongly recommend you to pick up heavy machinery. Heavy machinery will give us opportunity to build a concrete plant. Concrete plant can produce a lot of engineering point and concrete with production and improvement point. That's why in this case we can rapidly increase productivity of our cities. So this is going to be our first technology and that age. And let's take a look. All technologies needs 3 or 4 turns, due to the fact that we have a lot of knowledge. Alright, let's see what we can do with our questions. The second question we have is a government. Let's start a peaceful revolution. Alright, now we need to pick up a government. The first opportunity is communism. But first of all, I don't like communist and their ideology. I don't like it at all. So that's why, regardless their bonuses, regardless the amount of production and ideology we can have, we are not going to use that ideology. We don't like them at all. The second opportunity is democracy. Democracy is much better, but frankly, it gives us a lot of knowledge from analytics computers. It unlocks us opportunity to obtain a lot of government experience, but I think it's not a problem at all for us. What else? The crucial advantage is plus 20% knowledge in all cities. It's really strong. We will obtain more military units, more in our cities and foreports, but I don't know. Maybe that's a good choice for only for science, but I don't like that from that ideology we obtain only a science. And the last opportunity is fundamentalism. First of all, we'll obtain a lot of government experience. It could be useful. Second of all, just look at it. We can obtain engineering points, exploration points, warfare points, art points. So for the most important points in the game, we can obtain more from our improvements. And it's a really strong opportunity. And additional to that, it's not all. If you pick up fundamentalism, if you become a fundamentalist nation, we won't lose our culture and our advantages from our religion. So that's why we are going to pick this ideology, because first, we like influence of our religion, and second, we would like to obtain a lot of points, especially engineering points and exploration points. So that's why we are going to pick this ideology. Or in our hands we can call it the last government. Select, increase, and let's obtain our government experience. Alright, the second aim is Ministry of Industry. Of course, we will obtain engineering experience. Right, it was the question of government. Now we are going to take a look on the most challenging question of that age. The most challenging question of that age is to pick up the last national spirit and that age. So we have a lot of opportunities. Too many of them are so useful. So let's take a look one by one what we can say about these opportunities. And the first opportunity is exploration opportunity, space agency. Let's take a look. First of all, it gives us opportunity to obtain more knowledge from National Airspace Research Facility and communicate satellite. Addition to that, our chance of success in the space race is increased. And we can obtain more specialists. I want to mention what we will obtain more innovation, but it's not so strong. Supersonic Larser may be useful unit, but I don't like it. But the most crucial advantage is Launch Space Expedition. It's an exploration cultural power, and it will give us from 30 to 50 innovation per one use. From 30 to 50, just imagine. We can obtain a lot of innovation from that idea. That's why, only looking at space expedition, this idea is worth to take it. I think this idea is really interesting. I have played with this idea several times. I have obtained a lot of innovation for my empire, so that's why I really like that opportunity. The next opportunity is Special Forces. We are not going to talk about nuclear superiority because we are not nuclear maniacs, we are not going to produce DEFCONs and nuclear waste. The special operation focus is really strong. First of all, you can obtain a special force unit. Just look at it, attributes. 33 attack and 33 defense. The tank we are going to achieve, the main battle tank, has 49-39. So, a special force unit is much stronger. What about water transport? I don't know what is a crucial advantage, but our bombers will have more attack and strategic power. Warfare, the main power, gives us opportunity to destroy nation's tower. Addition to that, drone strike. This is a super strong opportunity. You can just kill a leader unit in an army. Army will lose automatically on its tactic, and after that, you will be able easily to kill that army, because without a tactic, army will be just wiped out. But it's not all. Addition to that, this special force idea has VTOL. VTOL is the strongest aircraft unit in a game. 146 attack, 170 defense. Let's take a look on the Lancet Space Agency. Attack only 101 and defense 84. So a supersonic Larsen has no chance against VTOL. But we have a lot of advantages. It looks really nice and it's super, and you can destroy a town, you can destroy a leader and so on. Looks really nice, you have a strong aviation unit, but quite frankly, the last war we had against our dear Seafire friend, and we were easily able to overcome it. It was so easy. And we are not going to start a global war with anybody else. So that's why it seems to me, yes, it's a strong opportunity for a war. But, at least in our campaigns, war it's not the main point. So that's why, in this campaign, I'm pretty sure we are not going to pick up that idea. The next opportunity is Modernization. This is a really strong opportunity. First of all, we obtain more power in our regions. We'll be able to build distribution center, but it's not so strong as a concrete plant. The second opportunity is high-speed expressway. It will give us more production, but of course it needs power drain. Subway, I don't think it's a really strong opportunity. It gives us on a specialist and engine level, but we can now, to achieve +1 town level, we'll have more bonuses from the town adjacency. But the strongest idea, all the modern improvements will have +1 extra worker slot. I think it's one of the strongest opportunity in the game, and additional to that, +1 max town level will give us opportunity to reach a superpopulation in the cities. Because, for example, now in our magnificent capital we have a limit. So that's why I consider this is a really strong opportunity, strong and interesting. It can improve our civilization in the way of production, and especially in the way of using as effective as it's possible all our tiles. The next opportunity is the Silicon Valley. As Silicon Valley can give us a lot of knowledge. First of all, our capital we have 8. So we will obtain rare earth metals in each capital. It's super strong due to the fact that we will have additional bonus knowledge from computers and supercomputers. And the most crucial advantage is that a computer factory produces +1 computer. +1 computer from every computer factory. It's a super strong. With the game studio, I wouldn't say it's so strong. It just gives us more culture, a little bit more culture and a little bit of gold. But we don't have any problems with gold. But the bonus education from data goods can be useful. The crucial improvement is all computer improvements will give us specialist points. So that's why picking up this idea is a good strategy. You can obtain a lot of science, a lot of special points, and some kind of education for your empire. I have played several times for that idea, and I can say that it's a really strong idea, but keep in mind that this idea is focused only on specialist and knowledge. You won't have any advantages in other spheres of your civilization. Alright, the next opportunity is Flower Child. Flower Child is concentrated on the nuclear disarms and so on, and I'm not sure what it's a strong idea, but they have opportunity for arts, obtain culture, instantly fill your culture meter. It can be strong, but all our ideas and all our opportunities except of maybe returning innovations from arm race. But I don't know, it doesn't look like a strong idea. That's why we are going to skip it and take a look on our opportunities. The next opportunity is international finances. Let's take a look. This opportunity is connection with finances. I know it was unexpectedly, it was really unexpectedly. It was a coincidence probably. So you will obtain plus 1% of your wealth as interest return. You will obtain more gold from houses and banks. You will obtain instantly 5,000. So everything is connected with money. So that's why in my campaigns I always keep that idea. Maybe it gives us a lot of money, but I would like to take something more useful in the last age. The next opportunity is political science. Political science unlocks interest in building. Think tank, it gives us ideology. Knowledge, for knowledge, it's really strong, and plus 1 knowledge per elite nation. So this idea is connected with diplomacy. We can expect that for a diplomatic idea, I know. Annexation would be an interesting idea if it wasn't a diplomatic power, because we don't obtain a lot of diplomatic points. That's why it seems to me it's going to be a useless idea. What else? Spawn assault rifle. I don't like it. It seems to me it's better to build your own army. Vassals, we don't like. Relocate population from nationals vassal to your nearest region. I don't know, we can do it for the most powerful and impressive buildings, so I wouldn't say it's strong. Generate all needs for your regions for 12 turns, but it's a culture power. We would like to spend culture for something more useful. So that's why, as with previous idea, I always keep that idea and I don't consider this idea as a strong one. The next opportunity is Media Conglomerate. Let's take a look. It gives us opportunity to build production studio. It will give us 1 media, 2 culture and 2 literature, but this is a limit, 1 per region. It means what now we have 8 regions, and in case we will take this idea, we will be able to obtain 8 media. 8 media, 16 culture. 60 culture in the last era. In the first our idea we were able to pick up barrel mount, which gives us 2 culture, and there is no limit. So it seems to me it's just pointless. It's just pointless. Broadcast studio, ideology and a bit information. It's not so useful. Plus 10 wealth from media. We can obtain 8 media. What does it mean? 80 gold? Thank you. Reduce unrest. Do we have any problems with unrest? No. Unrest suppression from media. Again, from 8 media. Thank you so much. Plus 2 bonus for government experience from media. Thank you so much, pal. 16 experience. It's so strong. Increase unrest, knowledge and information. 4 turns. Thank you, thank you. Once again, media, ideology and information. But we can produce a lot of media. This is the limit, plus 1 per region. So, it seems to me this idea is absolutely pointless and we are not going to pick it up. Alright, let's take a look on the last idea, pop culture. Pop culture in general, I consider it like a strong idea. First of all, we will obtain a celebrity. A celebrity unit which gives us a fashion line. Again, we will obtain culture, wealth, production, government experience, everything we like. But the strongest opportunity is plus 4 culture from clothing goods. And, in fact, we can produce a lot of clothing goods. In the technology of commercial industry, we can build clothing factory, which has 2 working slots. That's why we can produce 4 clothing from 1 clothing factory. But the issue is that we need to produce textiles. Textiles, now we can produce only 2 textiles from 1 improvement, from a viewer. So it's a disadvantage, but in advantage we obtain a lot of money and culture. What else do we have here? A dance club, culture, ideology, but why not? Why not? Additional to that we have consumerism. In this case we can generate culture from production, but I wouldn't say it's so strong. What else? We can disband a celebrity to obtain a social fabric point, but you know, in the amount of culture we can obtain from that idea, we can easily just pick up the domain culture power social doctrine. I think it's easily. Quite frankly, I have played several times for that idea and I like it. It gives us a lot of gold and culture is really useful in any situation. We can obtain, for example, more innovation, or we can build more towns for our cities and attach them to our cities. So that's why I consider this idea quite strong and I really like it. Wait a second, I came to a conclusion what I haven't accomplished with pop culture. Look at it, we can obtain a lot of culture. What does it mean? In general, it's not only innovation. It's not only ability to attach to the cities. It's the opportunity to have more regions. Just more regions. Look at it. We need to spend more than a 50 culture per turn to obtain one more city. And with this idea, with pop culture, we can easily obtain it by producing clothing goods. So that's why this is a crucial advantage for that idea. You can have not only maybe 8 regions, we can afford 8 or maybe 11 regions. It seems to me it's about time I made a decision, and I was thinking a lot. Everything is so yummy, everything is so juicy, everything is so interesting, but I came to the conclusion that we are going to pick up pop culture. With this idea, we are going to try to obtain as many regions as we can afford for our culture. And of course, in addition to that, we will obtain a lot of arts and money. So that's why let's pick up this idea. Select. Let's take a look on a funny moment. In previous age, we obtained 1 uranium per slot in the uranium mine, but in this age we obtained 2. That's why in our capital we had a lot of uranium, free uranium, and of course, being naughty boys, we built more hazardous material laboratories, and now we obtain almost 240 science per turn. It's really funny. Now we have double amount of uranium and we still have 1 more. So that's why we're going to produce much more science, and in this case I'm not sure if we really need computers. Just take a look. We can just build hazardous material laboratory and obtain from 1 improvement 8 science. It seems to me it's much more perspective to produce hazardous materials, but of course our city suffers from nuclear wastes. We have a lot of radioactive wastes in our capital, and to tackle that problem we are going to build water cooling reactors to treat them into the stored energy. And having a lot of uranium, we just closed our nuclear reactor, fusion reactor in our magnificent capital, because we don't need so much energy. We can produce it just treating nuclear waste. Let me show you the true balance in the trade system in that game. We can just import now uranium. Uranium! Can you imagine that? Because our dear Japanese friend now is in the age of atom, and India, Japan and India were in the age of atom, and now we can export not only paper, we can export uranium, and as you know, we can produce that uranium analytics. So it looks like our science is going to be rocketed soon. Our technology for producing clothes is ready. Let's take a look at commercial industry. Now we're able to build clothing factory, which will give us clothing for art, for culture. We like it. Let's see what we can do. And additional to that, our aim now is to obtain much more culture from the clothes goods. And after that, we will integrate 1 more region. I think our first clothing factory is ready at Uruk. We obtained from only 1 factory 120 gold, 16 arts, 16 culture from only 1 factory. That's a really strong opportunity. Now we have 264 culture, and we are going to continue building that factories in our cities to obtain more regions in our astonishing empire. Alright, we have built several clothing factories. Now our culture is more than 300, and we are going to obtain 1 more region. And I have been thinking a lot. First of all, it was funny. Second of all, I came to the conclusion that we should take Perm like our own region, because it contains a lot of territory. We will be able to put 2 towns in the place of Vologda. So for example, 1 is here, and we will obtain a lot of sources. We can produce wool, we can produce cotton, we can produce flax. It will give us a lot of culture. So that's why we are going to make them 1 of our regions. It will cost us 49 culture. Let's do it. Done. Now we have 265. Let's take a look how much culture we can produce from the updated Perm city. This is really funny. After all updates, we have almost 300 culture. So before we added Perm to our regions, we had something like 306, now we have 300. Why? Let me show you why. Now we are producing 8 clothing in that city, and it gives us, in summary, from the city 40 culture. So we spent 50 culture and obtained 40 culture. In addition to that, we obtained a lot of money. So that's why we are going to continue that dirty trick in our regions. It seems to me now we have a lot of culture again, 350. And I was thinking a lot, and I came to the conclusion that we need to put Genoa to our region. Why Genoa? Because first of all, it contains 2 fluxes. It contains ships. We can produce a lot of culture from that city, because for new city, for new region, we will pay 70 more culture. So let's integrate the city. Done. Now we are going to update it and achieve again 350 culture. Let's do it. I think we have accomplished research in all the technology of the Age of Rocketry. So now we are going to pick up the next age. And it seems to me we have only 2 opportunities possible. It's the Age of Ecology, because we can easily provoke it by our culture. I'll show you. We have a dirty trick, of course. We can store our culture, so now we have 5700 culture in storage. That's why we can easily pick up social doctrine and obtain social mechanics points we need to provoke the Age of Ecology. But, you know, quite frankly, I have been playing for Age of Ecology many times. Oh, that's why. This time, probably, we should provoke the Age of Information. Let's do it. I don't know, I'm just a little bit exhausted of the Age of Ecology. That's why I would prefer to provoke the Age of Information. Let's do it. Let's take a look on the result of taking 2 more regions in our perfect empire. We still have 325 culture per turn, and we spent 224 regions. It's strong, it's quite strong. I don't approve all the improvements in Genoa because we don't have enough population here to work on it. So now we have 10 regions, and all our rivals have 8, 6, 8, 5, so that's why. I prefer to take pop culture. Pop culture gives us opportunity to have much more regions, and probably soon we are going to add 1 more region in our magnificent empire. It looks like a ghastly squirrel has provoked the Age of Information. Of course, it was done by Babylonian, the signature of all eyes. Now we are in the Age of Information. Continue, of course. Nice, now we need to produce information. Enter the age. And it seems to me we should stop this serial on that moment. Now our magnificent empire is flourishing. The population of our capital is 85, so now we are going to improve our empire in the Age of Information, and we will do it in the next series. See you soon in Tactical Imperative!